there comes a moment in every person's life when the noise around them becomes too loud. People's opinions, doubts, fears, and the weight of expectations. You try to fit in, you try to please, you try to survive, but there's a quiet voice inside you that keeps whispering, you are meant for more. Most people never listen to that voice, but the day you decide to listen, the day you finally choose to believe in yourself, that is the day everything changes. Believing in yourself is not arrogance. It is not pride. It is the deep understanding that you are already equipped with everything you need to transform your life. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You only need courage. The moment you say to yourself, I am enough, I am capable, I am worthy, the universe shifts, doors open, opportunities appear, strength rises, and suddenly the world that once felt heavy begins to feel possible. Your life doesn't change when circumstances change. Your life changes when you change. And the first shift happens inside your mind when you stop doubting your abilities and start trusting your potential. When you stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. When you stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating your own moments. Believe in yourself, not because someone else told you to, but because you have survived storms that others never even saw. You have risen from situations that were designed to break you. You have a fire within you that is meant to illuminate your path. So today, make a promise to yourself not to be perfect, not to be fearless, but to be faithful to your own power. Because the day you start believing in yourself truly, deeply, unapologetically, the game changes. Self-belief is the foundation of every powerful transformation, every bold decision, and every meaningful achievement, because true strength does not come from people clapping for you, praising you, or validating you. It comes from within, from a place where your own voice matters more than the noise of the world, and your inner certainty becomes stronger than external opinions. When a person finally understands that the real source of power is not the approval of others, but the belief they carry inside their own mind, their entire life begins to shift in ways they never imagined, because internal power is far more stable, far more permanent, and far more valuable than anything the world can give. Most people grow up believing that they must impress others to feel worthy. They must fit into certain expectations to be respected, or they must constantly perform to feel seen. And this mindset keeps them trapped in a cycle of insecurity, fear, and self-doubt. They chase validation like it is oxygen, not realizing that external approval is temporary, unpredictable, and shallow. One moment people applaud you, the next moment they criticize you. And if your confidence depends on this unstable approval, then your emotional state will always be fragile. But when self-belief becomes your anchor, your foundation, your core, then the storms outside no longer shake you, because your strength doesn't come from their voices. It comes from your own. Self-belief is not arrogance. It is not ego. It is not loudness. It is quiet, steady, and deeply rooted in self-awareness. It is the understanding that you are enough, you are capable, you are worthy, and you do not need anyone else's permission to move forward in life. Once you tap into this level of inner confidence, your decisions become clearer, your goals become stronger, and your fear becomes smaller. You begin to walk differently, think differently, act differently, because you are no longer controlled by the opinions of people who don't walk your path, don't understand your dreams, and don't carry your burdens. When you rely on external validation, your life becomes a performance. But when you rely on internal belief, your life becomes a purpose. Self-belief gives you the courage to take risks, to trust your potential, to step into opportunities that once intimidated you, and to stand firm even when others doubt you. It gives you the emotional independence to say no when something doesn't align with your values, and the mental strength to say yes when a new challenge appears. It allows you to grow beyond your circumstances, your past, and your fears, because you finally stop fighting yourself and start supporting yourself. Most importantly, self-belief frees you from comparison. You begin to understand that your journey is unique, your timing is unique, your success is unique, and you no longer measure your worth by the achievements of others. You stop looking sideways and you start looking within. You stop competing with people and you start competing with your own potential. This shift alone unlocks a level of power that no one can take away from you. The world may try to define you, limit you, or discourage you, but when you believe in yourself, the world loses its control over your identity. You are no longer shaped by their expectations. You are shaped by your vision, your mindset, and your belief in what you can become. Because the truth is simple and powerful when you stop needing approval from the outside and start building strength from the inside. You become unstoppable. Every person walks through life carrying a certain energy, a certain vibration, a certain emotional frequency that speaks louder than their words, louder than their appearance, and louder than their actions. This energy is shaped by your thoughts, your beliefs, your confidence, your fears, and most importantly, your self-belief. When you believe in yourself, you radiate a different kind of presence, a presence that people can feel even before you speak. And the world responds to this presence in powerful ways because human beings naturally react to the emotional signals you send out. When you carry uncertainty, insecurity, and self-doubt, people sense it. They treat you based on how you treat yourself. If you shrink, they overlook you. If you hesitate, they question you. If you doubt yourself, they doubt you too. But the moment you shift your internal state, the moment you replace self-doubt with self-confidence, the moment you start owning who you are and what you are capable of, everything around you begins to change. People respond differently, opportunities come more naturally, and life feels less like a struggle and more like a flow because your energy aligns with strength, clarity, and purpose. Energy is invisible, but its impact is undeniable. You don't have to announce your worth. You don't have to explain your power. You don't even have to prove anything. Your energy does that for you. When you carry belief, people trust you. When you carry fearlessness, people respect you. When you carry calmness, people feel safe around you. When you carry purpose, people follow you. And when you carry self-love, people value you. People often misunderstand this concept. They think success comes from luck, talent, or external support, but in reality, a major part of success comes from the energy you project. When you believe in your dreams deeply, consistently and unapologetically, you attract circumstances that match that belief. Life reflects your inner state back to you like a mirror, showing you not what you want, but what you truly believe you deserve. Your energy also determines the opportunities you notice. When you are filled with self-belief, you see possibilities everywhere. Doors you once ignored suddenly appear. Ideas that felt impossible suddenly feel achievable. Challenges that looked intimidating suddenly look exciting. And people who once doubted you suddenly want to support you, work with you, and stand beside you because confidence is magnetic and certainty is influential. When your energy is strong, you stop chasing acceptance. Instead, acceptance finds you. You stop begging for respect. Instead, respect is naturally given. You stop running after opportunities. Instead, opportunities are drawn to you. This is the power of carrying the right energy, the power of aligning your inner world with the life you want to create it. The world treats you according to the value you assign to yourself. If you see yourself as weak, the world will agree. If you see yourself as average, the world will treat you as average. But if you see yourself as capable, deserving, and powerful, the world will respond in ways that confirm that belief. Your energy becomes the message you send to life, and life answers back with the same frequency. This is why self-belief is not just a mindset, it is a signal. It is a message that says, I am here, I am ready, and I am enough. And the moment you carry this energy consistently, everything around you begins to shift. People take you seriously. Challenges feel manageable. Your dreams feel closer. Your path becomes clearer. And life begins to move in your favor because the world always mirrors the energy you choose to carry. When you understand this truth, you stop trying to change people and you start changing yourself. You stop trying to control the outside world and you start managing your inner world. And once this shift happens, your life transforms, not because the world changed, but because your energy did. Every breakthrough a person experiences, whether it is emotional, spiritual, financial, or personal, always begins in one place of the mind. Before anything changes outside, something must shift inside. Before a new chapter opens, an old belief must close. Before a dream becomes reality, the mind must first accept the possibility of that dream. This is why people who master their mindset rise above excuses, fears, and limitations, because they understand that the greatest battles are not fought in the world, they are fought in their own thoughts. Your mind is the architect of your destiny, the engine behind your actions, the lens through which you see life. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, then every opportunity will look like a risk. If your mind is filled with fear, every path will seem dangerous. If your mindset is small, your goals will shrink to match it. But if your mind is filled with belief, confidence, and possibility, suddenly the world opens up. Doors appear where walls once stood. Solutions appear where problems once existed. Strength appears where weaknesses once lived. Every transformation begins with the decision to change the way you think. Most people never realize how much power their thoughts carry, how much influence their beliefs hold, and how deeply their mindset shapes their reality. They blame circumstances, blame people, blame timing, blame conditions, but rarely do they examine the beliefs that created those conditions in the first place. The moment you choose to take responsibility for your mindset, your entire life begins to shift. Your mind determines your level of resilience. When your thoughts are strong, challenges do not break you, they build you. When your beliefs are empowering, failure does not discourage you, it teaches you. When your mindset is confident, uncertainty does not scare you, it excites you. Everything depends on the meaning you attach to your experiences, and that meaning is born inside your mind. Breakthroughs do not come from comfort, they come from courage, from the willingness to think differently, to see differently, to believe differently. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary first expanded their mind before they expanded their life. They allowed themselves to imagine possibilities beyond their current reality, and this imagination became the first step toward transformation. The mind is also the birthplace of discipline. Before you take action, before you build habits, before you commit to a goal, you must convince your mind that your future is worth fighting for. If your mind is not aligned with your purpose, your body will not follow. If your thoughts do not support your dreams, your actions will collapse. But when your mind is clear, strong, focused, and determined, discipline becomes natural, effort becomes meaningful, and progress becomes inevitable. Your mindset also shapes your relationships. When your thoughts are filled with self-worth, you attract people who honor your value. When your mind is confident, you set boundaries that protect your peace. When your beliefs are strong, you don't settle for less, you don't tolerate disrespect, and you don't accept situations that drain your spirit. A strong mind filters out negativity before it ever reaches your heart. Most importantly, every breakthrough begins with belief. The belief that change is possible, the belief that growth is available, the belief that you are capable of more. Without belief, nothing starts. With belief, nothing is impossible. Your mind either builds your future or buries it. It either pushes you forward or holds you back. It either becomes your biggest strength or your greatest barrier. When you finally understand that the key to every new level in life lies within your thoughts, you stop waiting for luck, time, or circumstances. You start working on your mindset, shaping it, strengthening it, and protecting it. And once your mind changes, changes, your entire life follows, because every breakthrough begins in the mind. And once the mind expands, it never returns to its old limits. Resilience is the inner strength that keeps a person standing when life tries to knock them down, the quiet courage that keeps them moving forward when the path becomes dark, the emotional armor that protects them when challenges rise unexpectedly. But resilience does not appear out of nowhere. It is not something that falls from the sky, and it is not something only a few people are born with. Resilience is built, strengthened, and sustained by one thing: belief. When you believe in yourself, you gain the power to rise again, try again, and fight again, no matter how many times life tests you. Without belief, even small obstacles feel like mountains. With belief, even the biggest mountains feel climbable. When a person lacks belief, every failure feels final, every rejection feels personal, and every setback feels like a confirmation of their insecurities. They question themselves, doubt their abilities, and sometimes give up too soon. But when belief lives inside you, deep, strong, and unshackable, you develop a resilience that no obstacle can destroy. You begin to see failure not as an ending, but as a lesson. You view rejection not as rejection of your worth, but as redirection towards something better. You see challenges not as punishment, but as preparation. Belief strengthens your emotional endurance. It keeps you stable when circumstances are unstable. It gives you hope when nothing around you feels hopeful. It gives you patience when the journey feels long, courage when the future feels uncertain, and determination when the process becomes painful. This type of resilience cannot come motivation, it cannot come from people cheering for you, and it cannot come from temporary excitement. It comes only from a deep belief that your story is not over, your purpose is not finished, and your potential is far greater than the problems you are facing. Resilience also allows you to stay focused when distractions try to pull you away. Life will always test your commitment through delays, disappointments, mistakes, and sometimes heartbreak. But with belief, you keep going. You stay grounded. You stay aligned with your purpose. You stay loyal to your goals even when progress is slow. You refuse to abandon your vision just because the journey gets difficult. You develop a warrior-like mindset, a mindset that says, I may bend, but I will not break. I may fall, but I will rise again. When you carry belief, you become unstoppable because resilience becomes your superpower. You begin to face challenges with confidence instead of fear. You take risks with courage instead of hesitation. You approach adversity instead of weakness. You stop running from difficulties and start learning from them, growing through them, and using them as fuel for your evolution. Belief also helps you detach from past failures. Many people struggle not because they are weak, but because they are still carrying memories of old mistakes. They have not forgiven themselves. They have not released their past. But when self-belief grows, you begin to understand that your past does not define you, your failures do not limit you, and your mistakes do not determine your destiny. You become resilient enough to walk away from what hurt you and walk toward what heals you. Resilience born from belief shapes your character. It teaches you humility when you succeed, wisdom when you fail, and strength when you struggle. It gives you a deeper sense of purpose, a stronger sense of identity, and a clearer understanding of your potential. You begin to respect yourself more, trust yourself more, and rely on yourself more because you realize that you have survived everything you once thought would break you. In the end, belief is the foundation and resilience is the structure. Belief gives you the courage to begin, and resilience gives you the strength to continue. A belief lights the fire within you, and resilience keeps it burning even through storms. When you combine the two, you become unstoppable, unbreakable, and unshakable. Because when belief fuels your resilience, nothing in the world can defeat you. At the heart of every dream, every struggle, every victory, there is one truth that stands unshaken. Your life changes the moment you start believing in yourself. Everything begins within you, grows within you, and transforms through you. The world can doubt you, circumstances can challenge you, and people can misunderstand you, but none of it has the power to define you unless you allow it. Self-belief is the spark that turns fear into courage, confusion into clarity, and hesitation into action. It is the quiet force that whispers, keep going, when everything else says, give up. It is the foundation of resilience, the source of strength, and the doorway to every breakthrough you will ever experience. When you honor your inner voice, trust your potential, and live with purpose, life begins to respond differently. Opportunities find you, strength grows within you, and a new version of you begins to rise stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. You are capable of more than you think, deserving of more than you accept, and powerful beyond what you currently see. The journey ahead may not be easy, but it will always be worth it because it leads you to the person you were meant to become. So choose yourself, trust yourself, stand with yourself, because the day you finally start believing in yourself, the game doesn't just change. Your whole life does.